Hi, my name is Alan Landrum, and today I want to talk about the relevance of Western civilization. I'm a Texas history teacher. I just started teaching history this year. I enjoy it. I love it. History has been my passion, like all of us, for a while. What has surprised me the most this year is I'm teaching something that's totally out of my wheelhouse. I began teaching Texas history, and I'm surprised at the amount of connection that Texas history has to the antique world, to Rome, to Greece, to the great thoughts, the great ideas that have been transmuted over time through Western civilization. So when I see a question like this, why is Western civilization relevant? I think of my students who are grappling every day with issues they discover in their own civilization. Questions of gender, questions of belief, questions of identity, things that we have grappled with as a civilization since the days of Greece and Rome. So I think the study of Western civilization is extremely relevant. And today I want to do two things. The first thing I want to do is to talk about the definition of Western civilization. What does it mean to be a citizen, be a part of the West? And the second thing I want to do today, I want to look at, let me go back. I want to look at acknowledging our contributions as a civilization. It's become very fashionable to, as the kids say, to dunk on the civilization that gave birth to our thoughts, our ideas, our way of looking at the world. Um, Given birth to our languages, our cultures, our food, our customs, our traditions, even our greatest strength, our diversity. That is a byproduct of Western civilization. And also, just because we acknowledge contributions of civilization doesn't mean that we don't study the atrocities or the horrors committed within our civilization. So let's start first with the definition. When I think of the definition of Western civilization, I think that Western civilization is a term that's continually evolving. That's why sometimes it's very debatable, it's very vague. I don't see it as a racial term or even a nationalistic term. Western civilization is an evolving term. I think that it contains a diversity of cultural expression, of thoughts, and of experiences, but all of those are unified in a Greek and a Roman past. I think that most Western cultures owe something to the democratic or the republicanism or to the political philosophies or even the religious expressions of Greece and Rome. For example, think about our days of the week. In English, for example, every day of the week is named after a god, right? The day of Thor, that's the day. Tomorrow's the day of Freyr, his mother. But curious enough, Saturn Day, the day of Saturn, a Roman god, right? Patterned off the Greek Hades. That persists. And we see this all over the Western world, that there's still echoes of Greece and Rome, even in a Germanic language like English, right? Or an English, a language with Germanic roots. So I like what Robert Royal has to say, and basically in his quote here, I want to summarize for the sake of time, for the sake of brevity. But he argues that civilization is something elaborate. It's a structure of ideas and institution. It's slowly built up by individuals. And it's not something that we just inherit or we just receive or we just ever finally possess and take ownership of. He says civilization is the work of generations who come together individually and collectively to build the ideas and concepts of civilization. I think that is a good definition for the reality that we see in the West. Let's go on and talk about acknowledging contributions. Now, as I started preaching on earlier, I think the study of study of the West, is super important because there are so many things that we have done that have directly benefited the human race. Science, technology, medicine, education. Uh, I'm not saying we are the sole inventors of these concepts, but we have advanced them. We have studied them. We have cherished them. We have pushed them forward. We have prized them. And no, we've not always done well, but we have created significant benefits for the rest of humanity. And we're an expansive civilization. We've always been an expansive civilization, sometimes wrongly through military conquest, as seen in Greece or Rome, or even as I've been teaching my kids this week about the horrors on the western frontier in the U.S. Sometimes we're violently expansive. That's not good. But also we are culturally expansive. We share ideas. We can be religiously expansive, not just in Christianity, but in Islam spreading throughout the West as well, through Judaism, through Mormonism, through other Western faiths. Even the Greeks and the Romans were in some concepts spreading their religious tales and mythologies. So expansion is a part of us as a Western civilization. Some people too do take offense to that, but I don't think this is an either or conversation. I don't think you have to either accept the Western civilization or reject the others. I think you can have both. I think you can honor and acknowledge the good aspects of Western civilization while honoring and cherishing the good aspects of Asian civilization or other civilizations that have graced our world. But Western civilization has contributed much that has directly and frequently benefited the entire world. There are two visions of the West that I want to highlight. The first is more of a negative vision. We studied this reading this week by Kwame Anthony Appiah. Appiah writes that we should give up on the idea of Western civilization. Right? He thinks it's a great deal of confusion. It's an obstacle to human development. He also says that there is no cultural improvement with Western civilization. Compare that again with Robert Royal, who argues that despite its many shortcomings and its many atrocities, the Western dominance is providential, meaning it's provided much to humanity. Its rise has, in the main, been a blessing to the human race. And I think, on the whole, that is true. The human race has been blessed by the advancements of the Western civilization. Now, please note, I'm not using exclusive language. I'm not saying that it has been blessed only by the West. But I am arguing that there are aspects of Western civilization that, just as Royal has argued, that have been positive and beneficial to the world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in this dialogue, this conversation. I look forward to reading your comments, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you.